I can't believe this only has one slide.
Hello and welcome everybody. Josh the RV Nerd of Bish's RV, taking a break from my Coldwater, Michigan hometown store to drive down here to Middlebury at Jayco headquarters to get a first look at this new 27 MLC floor plan they have out here. And it looks awful familiar if you take a little time reflecting on it, but that's not a knock against them. I like that they identified something that was cool out there and said, we think maybe we could do it a little bit better. So let's let you be the judge here. What this floor plan is it's shocking that it's a single slide, basically couples model, but historically, almost anybody that built a layout like this, they put a dinette directly across from the TV and then a theater seat at a 90-degree neck wrecker entertainment location, which sucks. And they did not. They flip-flopped them, but in doing so, you kind of change from a traditional U-dinette to like it's kind of being called a breakfast nook, the little kind of half dinette, and it's just enough. Like if you need a spot that you need to sit down to grab a bite to eat, have a cup of coffee, do some laptop work or anything like that, it's just enough. But you've got a triple-seater party recliner that is long enough you can actually stretch out on, straight across from the entertainment, which is also the entire campsite of this wrapping around to the back of the RV is non-stop storage and countertop prep space. And I've had people trade in a lot of RVs over a lot of years for a lot of reasons, but never because it had too much counter space and too much storage. And this RV's like, challenge accepted, dork. And it's nerd, by the way. Dork is offensive. We've got a 3,000-pound towing package on the back, auto-leveling Moride suspension, Goodyear tires, enclosed underbelly, great weather package, plywood roof and floor decking, and a laundry list of good qualities, including about perfect travel access on this RV. I can't wait till you see it and tell me what you think. If you appreciate how we get down here, get you the early looks at stuff, hit that subscribe button, let us know what you think, and let's go! I don't know why I yelled. I'm sorry.
Now, first things first, I'm gonna do something I almost never do in my videos. I'm gonna shut up and stop talking. Take a listen to this for a second. All right, so you don't hear very much. The AC is currently cranked. Jayco does two things to drown out the noise on their air conditioning systems. First of all, they're using a Coleman Mach AC unit, which is already quieter. Secondly, they also use whisper ducted baffling, which very few builders do anything like that anymore. Because to be fair, the Coleman Mach AC units, they are pretty quiet. But Jayco continues to go that extra step just to make everything just a little more quieter and more comfortable here. Like standing here in person, yeah, I can hear. And I'm using no special noise canceling microphones or anything like that. This is like, it's like if I scratch the wall behind me, you can hear that because you're hearing like the real open room audio as I sit in here. Look at the countertop space in this. It is ridiculous how much countertop space is in this thing. Also, while we're doing this, keep an eye under the overhead cabinets because that's where you're probably going to find most of the power outlets here. But I'm gonna give you a Top Gun danger zone tour of the countertop space here because it, rocks the mic pretty extreme like a vandal, as our friend Rob Van Winkle might say, who, by the way, I just might write in for president because he stops, he collaborates, he listens, and if there's a problem, he solves it, okay? So consider that as in your next political season. I'm joking, obviously. I don't like to make a mockery of one of the greatest aspects of American citizenship, the right to vote. That is, I joke, but I highly value and respect that. Anyway, 22-inch oven instead of the smaller 16-inch Easy Bake. And what I want to kind of do here is, again, I like to point out things where Eagle does Eagle things a little bit differently. Before I recorded this, I had a chance to go through this RV with the brand manager. His name is Rudy. He's actually been on camera in a couple Eagle videos before. And I said, hey, Rudy, I got a question for you. Your TV swings left and right, right? And he goes, yeah. And I said, why? He goes, I don't know. I said, what if you use that same bracket and you rotated it 90 degrees so the TV could drop down like at least a solid foot and be like down here instead of up here? And he stared at it and he laughed. He goes, it's one of those forest from the trees moments. You look at the same thing the same way for so long, you start to take it for granted. And he's actually going to look into that. He's going to consider finding a way to drop the TV on this. I can't promise you it's going to happen for a lot of production or anything like that, but he is going to take a look at it. So I thought that was pretty cool. Now, this is something else that kind of came to me as a surprise. I was expecting just a normal 2-seat theater seat right here, but instead, what they did is they gave us the 3-seat pseudo party recliner with the fold down armrest. So it's either cuddle compliant or not, depending on what you need. It could be a little bit of a population control situation. And I want to talk about this, the breakfast nook. It's not a full-on dinette. It's not intended to be. It's intended to be just enough that if you do happen to want to use it, to sit down to grab a bite to eat, again, use it for laptop type stuff. If you want to, you could put a couple chairs over here on this side of it. You could still play some cards with friends or something like that. But, it's not a full-on traditional dinette. But one of the other cool things that it allows you here is something that you're probably not going to find in any brochure. It gives this floor plan the chance to be a double lounge. Oh, yeah! And that is something you very rarely find in the RV marketplace. You may notice, too, it does have a pair of those little kind of swivel stands that slide into the cup holders. If you are looking at a different RV and you're like, boy, I wish it had those things, and you're like, why don't they have those things? I think it's because Jayco either owns the patent or some kind of exclusivity or something on it. So let's say you're looking at a Forest River or a Grand Design fifth wheel and you want those things. We can get them for you. We just have to order them through one of our Jayco stores, so kind of keep that in mind. Your full viewing window, it does have, your entry door has a full viewing window. I'm sorry if I'm like a little more disjointed than normal and I almost sound short of breath. I'm not feeling great. And I'm down here just because I saw that they had this new unit down here. I gave them a call and I want to get down here to try to get you this footage as quickly as I could because I'm excited about this floor plan. Let's kind of polish off the living room. I'm actually going to take a seat over here in the theater seat for a second. We've got ourselves the electric space heat and Tootsie toaster, and normally that would come at a loss of storage. Technically it does, but I think you're going to find in this floor plan it can definitely do without some. We've already kind of talked about the TV, so I'm not going to harp on its location being mounted up a little high here. I do want to talk about a change to the entertainment center, though. They went with 2 separate Bluetooth entertainment systems on this, one inside, one outside. These are smart TVs, so you have a choice with your inside speakers pairing either with, say, like your phone, or boop, push that, it pairs up with the television. Easy. And that's what I like about it. They made it easy because a lot of RV Bluetooth systems have basically sucked eggs pretty badly. And I respect that Jayco's trying to buck that trend a little bit. Also, I want to give them some credit for a couple things here, like especially when you sit down, good window coverage where you really want it. And have you noticed one of the other interesting shifts in Eagle RVs? What's missing? Floor vents. They have completely gotten rid of floor ducted heating in Eagle RVs. But what's interesting is they're actually still running the heat system through the flooring. So unlike most cabinet ducted heat systems where you end up with cold feet, this will still have a warmer floor. They've kind of combined the best of both worlds. So there's a regular viewer, Mr. Nick B. I assume it's Mr. I don't know, that may be presumptuous. But Nick often says, I like floor ducted heating because my old feet don't get cold. I don't know if he says old, but I said old. So apologies again, Nick, if I got that wrong. So you're getting the easy cleaning pet friendliness without the cold feet down here and carpetless slides. So it's I'm very curious to see how well it performs because it feels to me like it's going to end up being my personal nerd preferred way of doing things. I'm going to get you spun around to look at all the storage in just a second here. I want to focus in on this new sink. They're using that like fancy pants sink that a lot of RVs have nowadays, like, you know, your higher dollar fifth wheels, where it has all the little sliding components, where, you know, it has a little veggie dish tray and everything. And it does include all those things. but I thought it'd be nice if you actually got to see it in farm sink mode too. So if you get all that crap out of the way, you see you actually do get a big sink. And I love the handy little cup sprayer. My Uncle Gary says he likes to sit on those. I don't know why. That seems really weird, right? But hey, never mind. Also this year, they went from a 0.9 cubic foot fridge, or geez, oh Pete, it's not fridge, microwave, to a 30-inch over the counter, over the range kind of microwave right there. And it does still have a range, heat exhaust vent hood on this RV, which is really nice. Before I say something else wrong, let's start cracking open some storage. Let's start right up here where you're getting a nice little, belly shot of me in that reflective mirror, which I like the mirror, by the way. It makes the whole thing look and feel bigger. One of the hiccups with this little corner breakfast nook benchette thing is that it doesn't have a ton of storage below it like a lot of dinettes would, but a lot of dinettes the storage is hard to get to anyway. The reason I don't really care is the kitchen storage cutaway section that we're looking at right now in this video is going to take longer than most of my other videos because there's a lot of kitchen total storage space and counter space in this thing. If you are looking for just some serious prep and or storage space, this is a model you really may want to get on your radar. And here's one of the other cool things, and I'm going to close the slide in a second to show you road mode on this one. It has absolutely fantastic travel access. That's one of the things this RV does very, very well. I almost want to say like it feels like it's lacking kitchen drawers, but it has 2 giant drawers above the fireplace and then 4 drawers over beside the sink. And did you notice the space under the sink? Half of it was left cut wide open for giant waste baskets if you are so inclined. And that's one of those things that I've talked about RVs missing and lacking quite a bit. So I was personally very, very happy to see that. And again, so the heat ducting, what they're doing here is they're not using that flexi hose stuff like a lot of brands do. They're still using a fully formed heat plenum. And if you're not familiar with the terminologies that I just threw at you there, basically they're using something that is just, it's more expensive, but it's vastly more efficient at actually moving the heated air through your RV to put it where you want it. And I don't normally do road mode at this point in the video, but it feels right. Because this is one of the coolest aspects of this RV. First of all, this is a rack and pinion slide, which is awesome at holding heavy weights. So like that, the big pantry, the refrigerator, it's made for that kind of stuff. But it's not made for you to sit in while retracted. And the difference there is that manufacturers account for weight and storage that they put in a slide, but not a human being that they did not. If you sit in a rack and pinion slide while it's retracted, you could damage the head of the unit effectively. But look at this. Our sink, the microwave, the stove, the oven, the refrigerator, the counter space, all the kitchen necessities are readily available. And as you recall, since the booth, dinette, bench, corner, lounge, 8-ball in the corner pocket over here is not mounted in a slide since it's just on the main floor, that means that it is fully functional and usable in transit. Now, partner that up with the fact that the entry doors over here on the hallway with the bedroom and bathroom, and this RV, I think gets about an A+ for travel access. At worst, it gets an A. I don't even think it deserves an A-. This is one that really, really nails it. So onto our bathroom here. They actually are using a variety of Max Air fan. It's not the big fan, but it is a Max Air fan. The cool thing is it has a rain protective cover built right onto it right from the factory level. Interesting thing here is these Eagle HTs are not quite as tall in the upper deck as some of the other RVs I've been in. I like the glass door for the shower. You might notice though, it was a little bit of a tighter squeeze for a chunky dad bod like me, but I made it work. And keep in mind, you saw how there was not a whole lot of room above my head. I'm wearing a hat and I'm wearing shoes with crazy thick soles because I spend a lot of time on my feet. If I didn't have those things, I'd probably be even better in that shower. So I think this is fine. I just wouldn't want it any smaller. And when you slide that pocket door out of the way, the toilet space is fairly fluffy friendly. Working our way around here, it looks like they went away from the blue accents in the bathroom. I do like, though, And again, no floor ducted heating. They got it, they're in the bedroom, even in the bathroom. They got it kind of out of the way, and it's not next to the toilet. So if somebody happens to be playing the Game of Thrones in the bathroom and they encounter some everyone's favorite actor, Peter Sprinklage, you don't end up with pee-pee smells in your heat vents. And I know that's not pretty to talk about, but that's like, it's a real thing. That's a real thing that can happen in RVs. So it's a real thing that won't happen here. Now, if we crack that cabinet open, it looks like a huge chunk of storage, and it is, but it's actually shared between the bedroom and the bathroom. And it's also your combo washer dryer prep. And if you choose to install a combo washer dryer in this thing, you greatly kneecap the total personal bedroom storage potential that this model right here has. So that's something that you're going to want to kind of keep in mind. You might notice that, yeah, there is technically a little bit of a step up in the bedroom, but it's all the way up by those dresser drawers. It's nowhere that you're normally walking, so I do think this still qualifies as a normal walk-around bed. But notice how the mattress is sticking out past the bed base a little bit. This year, instead of saying you could go do it yourself, they've just standardized a little bit bigger mattress. This is called an Olympic Queen. And it's pretty much exactly between a queen and a king. It's 66 wide, it's 80 inches long, so it's not the Shorty McShortpants annoying bed that some people are not going to like. You can go to a lot of stores and you can get online and you can get Olympic Queen mattresses and bedding and sheets and all that kind of stuff. It's not the most common bed size. We don't see it in households a lot, but it is actually a standardized bed size. But if you want just a normal true queen and more room to walk around, you can do that too. They still make the bed base true queen size. Now, optional second air available on these. I do not have that running right now, by the way. So I'm not going to try to cheat and say, hey, listen to this, and then be quiet a second and you hear nothing. I don't make stuff up like that in my videos. If it's great, I want to tell you. If it's bad, I want to tell you so that you know the real deal of Vander Holyfield on these things. Something I haven't talked about a lot is the inverter prep on this RV. If you go to see an Eagle in person, you see a household outlet with that white sticker on it. If you look real close, it basically tells you it's an inverter-powered outlet. It is one that if you choose to add an inverter to this RV, or if there is one on it from the factory, which is possible, then you that could run right off your battery, although it will deplete your battery more quickly. Another thing that's kind of nice here is even though this is the full 80-inch long mattress, they still left you good space to be able to walk around it. Like you can actually stand in this bedroom and get dressed. And really, this, I'm going to turn you left and try not to make you motion sick. This little cutaway cubby pocket kind of at the foot of the bed over here. You see those little Octopus Fight Club coat hangers? It creates a great spot. If you want to sit on the end of the bed to put on shoes or get dressed, it's not a bad spot to be able to do that right there. The trick is, like I said, the bedroom storage in this is either going to be great or you're going to think it's terribly deficient, depending on how you equip the RV, specifically with or without washer dryer, and how you camp. But first of all, you've got overhead dresser space right there, and it's perfectly symmetrical up in the bedroom now. You have double dresser drawers on both sides, and I like how they give you like one big drawer, one small drawer. It just kind of makes sense for me. I don't hate it, but in terms of hanging storage, you are limited to the shared bedroom, bathroom, combo washer dryer prep, does everything Swiss Army cabinet across from the bed. And maybe that works for you. And the hard fact is, despite all the requests for washer dryer hookups in RVs, still to this day, only maybe 2% of washer dryer prepped RVs, which there's more of them now than ever before, ever have a unit actually installed in them. So I think I'm making a big deal talking about something that probably doesn't affect the overwhelming vast majority of people. But maybe you're that person. Maybe you're the 2%. Maybe it matters to you. I just want to take a minute to point all that out. Anyway, great cross breeze windows here in the bedroom space. If you choose to add a TV, man, it's at the location I think that you want it, Over here, though, if you take a look up in that corner, if I open that up for you, again, that's that combo everything closet right there with the dresser drawer action going on down below it. Now, someone has asked me, what if I take the drawers out too? Can I put a stackable washer dryer in it? My understanding is no, but the space there looks like maybe the answer would be yes. But as far as I understand, that is not the case. If we find out, if you need one of our team members to verify that, if you find out to the contrary, that'll work. Hey, there's Rudy right there. Maybe you guys, you want to meet Mr. Eagle. Hey, Rudy, want to be on camera?
Absolutely not.
So let's talk towing. What's it going to take to haul this Jayco around? Did I say Jayco? Jayco? Jayco. Jayco MG. Okay, this Jayco around. Well, if you look in the background, you see the mighty Mav back there. She's not going to do the trick. Frankly, I don't think anything less than a 3/4 ton should generally be considered for something like this, primarily due to the hitch weight on the RV once loaded with cargo in comparison to things like half-ton pickup payload ratings. Most half-ton pickups will not have sufficient payload rating to properly safely handle an RV of this size and weight. And airbags, contrary to common understanding, do not actually enhance payload rating. They stiffen up your suspension. There are benefits to them, but they don't actually change your payload because your bearings and all that stuff are still undergoing the same stress, and airbags don't fix that magically. Not to mention your stickers that are DOT regulated don't magically update just because some airbags got slapped on it. So 3/4 ton and up is my generalized recommendation here. I wanted to crack this open because I don't know that I show you where the propane tanks go enough, but these are 30-pounders. They just put a big baggage door in so that if you want to put 40-pounders in for some extra boondock propane, well, you can do that. Something else that absolutely, if you'd have asked me to wager money before checking, I would have lost this bet. This is a single-headed sewer monster. I was absolutely shocked at that. Like, I got down here and I expected this to be the bathroom black and gray. That was no surprise to me. And then I looked back here under the skirt line, and I even got up and walked all the way around and poked my head under there. There's a pull valve for your rear gray tank for your kitchen back there, but it does all cross plumb and flow into one single outlet location. Most rear kitchen fifth wheel and travel trailer builders, they will not do a singular sewer outlet. It ends up being what I call the poop hydra, where you do the poop scoop boogie to get everything exhausted. And they're still including the sewer caddy tube over here to kind of make that simpler and easier. You know, so you got a good place to keep all of your hoses and everything, all your bayonet fittings, that kind of fun stuff. Slam latches on your baggage doors on your pass-through, not on the front nor on the propane. You've also got a 60,000 BTU on-demand water heater, and like you've seen docking stations on fifth wheels, I don't think I got to over-explain that. But water purification systems are something very few RVs have. It's actually a triple filtration system, very similar to like one of those little survival straws where if you want to drink water out of a puddle, you know, out in the wilderness, it's essentially the same tech and filters and all kinds of stuff as that. If you're curious to learn more about it, contact our team. We can dive through those details. I don't want to explain tons and tons of time on it. Now, we're looking at one with the optional 200-watt solar package. That's why we're seeing that solar controller right there. No matter what, your Eagle fifth wheels and travel trailers in the HT family, they are prepped for solar and inverter. From the factory, you know, by default they have none, but you can get 200 to 400 watts of factory solar and 0 to 2,000 watts of factory inversion on these, but they're always prepped for that. So if you want that stuff added after the fact, we can do it right at our stores. And if you want more than that, that's when you start getting into the realm of custom stuff, you know what I mean? I think this is a little bit longer as compared to a lot of the builders who make a similar floor plan to this, but the living space and the stretched out counter, I don't hate them. The entry door being way in the middle of that awning is also ideal for rainy day use. Now you notice, because of the taper of the roof line, they were not able to extend that awning back literally any further. I think they would have encapsulated the camp kitchen had they had the opportunity. It's just physically not possible due to the shape and profile of Eagle HT stuff. They are maintaining outside speakers, but I love how they do it. They put them right down here near chair level, and they're mounted in the skirt metal. They're not giant holes, you know, drilled through your laminated sidewalls or anything. Goodyear Endurance radials, optional TPMS, by the way. But look at the suspension package. You've got a MORryde CRE 3000 suspension with wet bolt fasteners and everything on here. A lot of your builders in this class category and price point, you're still on a non-enhanced leaf spring chuck system, and it's going to bounce the RV around. And long term, I suspect will probably land you in the shop a little bit more. Also, things like auto leveling on here still. In some of your smaller stuff, non-auto leveling has been slowly creeping back in for price sensitivity. Now, with this RV technically having some variety of outside camp kitchen, the J-Port extended table and griddle are included. I do not obviously have the griddle out for display. They moved away from, I think, Capital griddles. I don't know why. I didn't get an explanation. I know that they went to Halo, and they're bigger and they're heavier, but they feel maybe a little more solid and substantial. So maybe it's a service record kind of thing, but that's purely theoretical. I have no data to support that, mind you. Below the refrigerator, you do have a hot-cold little outside utility shower that's probably going to have to double as a little bit of what would be a sink wash basin. I like the power outlets over there in the corner as well. That's a nice handy little thing. All the countertop space in there, by the way, that is a galvanized rolled steel. So it's not a just a wooden countertop. It actually has a weather kind of skin protectant on it. Ladder gets you up to that Magnum Truss walkable plywood roof decking, rated to hold more weight than just about anybody else. And they updated the taillights this year to be harder to block if you use the rear hitch for whether it's towing or accessories. And they're mounted up a little bit higher, which will actually yield a little bit better safety. And they have maintained their 3,000-pound towing package, which does have a 300-pound vertical rating on that, by the way. And like I always do, I'll leave you links in the description to check for pricing and availability, whether you're curious or whether you're serious. I'll also leave some links to some similar layouts from some other builders that you might like down there. Really, it's not too terribly dissimilar from like one of my personal favorite Cougar 23 MLE kind of things, twisted around a little bit. It's in the same neighborhood. What would you go with and why, given the choice in this kind of floor plan group and family? I'd be curious. Take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy camping, everyone. You know, even when it's overcast, like, you still can't open your eyes, and I feel like I'm just squinting nonstop.